The Art of English, Speaking Your World. Introduction. Have you ever felt unsure about what to say? Maybe you were getting ready for an important job talk and wanted to sound sure of yourself. Or maybe you were with friends and everyone was using easy, casual words and you wanted to join in smoothly. It feels like this for many people, right? English can seem to have many different rules, and it's easy to wonder if there's just one perfect way to speak. You might worry about making a good impression or being understood well. But what if you could feel sure in all these different moments? This book, The Art of English, Speaking Your World, is here to help you. Our main goal is to help you speak English with more confidence and skill. We will show you how to change how you speak, like a chameleon changes its colors to fit its home. This will help you fit in well wherever you are. Imagine sounding very proper in a serious meeting and then being able to sound relaxed and friendly with your pals without feeling strange. This skill can help you make better friendships, make good first feelings, and feel more comfortable in all parts of your life. Speaking your world means making English work for you in all the different places and times you are in. The secret to being good at this is a skill called code switching. Don't let the name scare you. Many people do this without even knowing it. Simply put, code switching means changing how you speak, the words you use, how you say them, and how fast, based on who you are talking to and where you are. Think of it like picking your clothes. You would not wear a fancy suit to the beach, and you would not wear swim shorts to a wedding. You pick the right clothes for the event. Code switching is like picking the right speaking clothes for each talk. Or, think of a toolbox. You would not use a hammer to tighten a screw, would you? You pick the right tool for the job. Code switching is about picking the right language tool for the talk. For example, when you write an email to your boss, you will likely use more formal words and a respectful way of speaking. That is one kind of code switching, picking the proper way to speak. But when you are joking with your best friend, you might use everyday slang and a relaxed style. That is another kind of code switching, changing to the friendly way to speak. This is not about pretending to be someone else. It is about being smart and able to change, which shows you know how to talk well. In the pages that come, we will look at these different ways of speaking English. We will look closely at the differences between formal and informal language. You will find useful tips for knowing which way to speak is best for any situation. We will also have fun exercises and clear examples to help you practice and feel more confident. This book is all about giving you tools you can use right away. When you finish, you will feel more in control of how you speak English, able to share your thoughts clearly and truly in every part of your life. Learning to code switch is like getting a superpower for talking. It opens doors, builds connections, and helps you truly connect with others. Are you ready to find your speaking power and start speaking your world? Let's start by understanding the simple ways we already use English differently. 1. Using English in different situations. Think about how you talk to your best friend. You probably use short sentences, maybe some easy words you both know, and you laugh a lot. Now, imagine you're at a job interview. Would you talk the same way? Probably not. You'd likely speak more slowly, use clearer, full sentences, and pick your words very carefully. This difference in how you speak is not about being fake. It's about being smart. It's about knowing that the English you use changes depending on who you are talking to and where you are. There isn't just one right way to speak English that fits every single moment of your life. If you try to use the same style of speaking everywhere, people might not understand you as well, or they might think you don't fit in. What works perfectly for a casual chat with friends might sound a little strange or even rude in an important meeting at work. And what sounds professional and clear in a business meeting could seem stiff and distant when you're just relaxing with family. This is what we're exploring, how to use English well in all sorts of different situations. Let's look at two main styles of speaking: formal English and informal English. Formal English is like dressing up for a special event. You choose your best clothes, you're careful about how you look, and you follow certain manners. In speaking, formal English means using exact words, speaking in full sentences, and following standard grammar rules very closely. You'll often hear formal English in places like workplaces, when you're talking to your boss, giving a presentation, or writing an important paper. Schools and universities, in classes, talks, or when you're writing essays. Official places, when you're talking to government workers, lawyers, or doctors about serious things. Formal events, like weddings, award shows, or important speeches. The feeling in formal English is usually serious, respectful, and clear. It's about making sure your message is understood exactly and that you show respect for the situation and the people you're talking to. You might avoid short forms like don't or can't and use longer phrases instead, like do not or cannot. You'd also be more careful about using slang or very casual sayings. On the other hand, informal English is like wearing comfortable clothes for a day at home or a walk in the park. It's relaxed, easy, and natural. Informal English uses simpler words, common phrases, short forms, and sometimes slang or sayings that are well known among friends. You'll hear informal English in places like with friends and family, when you're chatting, joking, or sharing everyday news. Casual parties, like parties, picnics, or meeting up for coffee. Text messages and social media, where quick, casual talking is normal. Talking to children, where simpler language and a friendly tone are best. The feeling in informal English is usually friendly, relaxed, and warm. It's about connecting with people on a personal level. You might use phrases like "what's up?" instead of "how are you doing today?" or "gonna" instead of "going to." This doesn't mean informal English is wrong English. It's just a different style for different purposes. So, if we have these two main styles, how do we know which one to use? The answer is simple. The situation is most important. The situation you are in is the biggest guide. Think about these three things. 1. Your audience. Who are you talking to? Are they your boss, who you want to impress with your professionalism? Or are they your childhood friend, with whom you share many jokes? If you're talking to a group of children, you'll use simpler words and a more playful tone than if you're explaining a hard idea to a group of scientists. The people you speak with shape how you should speak. 2. Your purpose. Why are you speaking? Are you trying to get someone to buy something? Are you trying to explain a difficult idea? Are you trying to comfort someone who is sad? Are you just trying to share a funny story? Your goal for the talk will guide your choice of words and tone. If your goal is to be taken seriously in a professional setting, formal English is usually the better choice. If your goal is to make a friend laugh, informal English will likely work better. 3. Your setting. Where are you? Are you in a quiet library, where whispering is expected? Or are you at a loud concert, where shouting might be needed to be heard? The physical place, or even the online space you are in, plays a big role. Speaking loudly in a library is not right, just as speaking in very formal, complex sentences might feel out of place at a casual backyard party. Understanding these differences helps us see the real power of changing our English. Being able to switch between formal and informal styles, which we call code switching, isn't about being two different people. It's about showing that you are a thoughtful and skilled communicator. It means you understand that language is a tool, and like any good tool, it needs to be used in the right way for the right job. When you code switch well, you show respect for the people you're talking to and for the situation itself. It helps people understand you better, and it makes you seem more fitting and capable in that moment. It's a sign of intelligence and social awareness. Let's look at some simple examples to make this clearer. Imagine Sarah. Sarah is a smart young woman who just started her first job as a marketing assistant. Scenario 1. Talking to her boss, Mr. Henderson. Sarah needs to ask Mr. Henderson for some extra time to finish a report. She walks into his office and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Henderson. I was hoping to ask for a little more time for the Q3 sales report. I found some unexpected data issues that need more looking into. Would it be possible to turn it in by Friday afternoon instead of Thursday?" Notice how Sarah uses polite phrases "excuse me," "hoping to ask," full sentences, and specific, professional words Q3 sales report, unexpected data issues, more looking into. She's using formal English. Scenario 2. Talking to her best friend, Maya. Later that day, Sarah meets Mia for coffee. Mia asks, "Hey, how was your first week at the new job?" Sarah replies, "Oh, it's been pretty wild. I had to ask Mr. H for more time on this big report. I got stuck on some numbers, you know? But he said it was fine. So what did you do last night?" Here, Sarah uses short forms he said, more casual phrases pretty wild, got stuck on some numbers, you know. And shorter, more direct sentences. She's using informal English. See the difference? Sarah hasn't changed who she is. She's still Sarah, but she has skillfully changed her language to fit the person she's talking to and the reason for the conversation. She showed respect to Mr. Henderson by using formal English, and she connected with Maya by using informal English. Let's consider another common situation, writing. Scenario 1. Writing a formal email to a potential client. You might write something like, "Dear Ms. Rodriguez, thank you for your interest in our services. We are happy to give you a detailed plan showing our solutions and prices. Please look at the attached paper when you have time. We hope we can work with you." This is clear, respectful, and uses professional words. Scenario 2. Sending a text message to a friend. You might text, "Hey, saw your email. Check out this cool new app I found. LMK, what you think?" This is quick, uses short forms you, LMK, and a more casual, friendly tone. The words and how they are put together change a lot, but the goal is still talking. The formal email aims to make a professional impression and clearly share information. The informal text aims for a quick, friendly chat. Think about David, who works in helping customers. Scenario 1. Handling a complaint from an upset customer. David might say, "I understand you are upset, sir. Please accept my deepest apologies for the trouble this issue has caused. I will personally make sure this is given to our technical team right away for a quick fix." He uses polite, formal words to calm the customer and assure them that action will be taken. Scenario 2. Chatting with his colleague, Ben, during a coffee break. David might say, "Man, that last call was tough. Some guy was really mad about a problem. I told him I'd fix it, but honestly, it's a mess." Here, David uses more casual words man, tough, really mad, problem, mess, and a more relaxed sentence structure to share his experience with a coworker. These examples show that changing your English is a natural and important part of talking. It's not about being fake, it's about being effective. It's about making sure your message is understood the way you want it to be. Now, let's look more closely at why this skill is so important and how it works. What are the good things that happen for someone who learns to change their English speaking style for different situations? Learning to code switch offers many advantages that can help in almost every part of your life. In your career, being able to speak formally and professionally in interviews, meetings, and when dealing with clients or bosses can greatly increase your chances of success. It shows you are polished, respectful, and understand what is expected in the professional world. This can lead to better job chances, promotions, and a stronger reputation. People are more likely to trust and listen to someone who talks in a way that feels right for the situation. In your personal relationships, knowing when to be more formal can help you show respect to older people or new people you meet. But just as important, knowing when to relax and use informal language helps you build deeper connections with friends and family. It allows for more real warmth, humor, and shared understanding. Imagine trying to tell a funny story to your friends using the same stiff language you'd use in a legal meeting. It just wouldn't be as funny. On the other hand, being too casual with someone you've just met in a formal setting might make them feel uncomfortable or think you don't take them seriously. Beyond career and relationships, changing your language leads to clearer understanding. When you match your language to your audience and purpose, your message is more likely to be understood exactly as you mean it. You avoid confusion that can happen from using slang with someone who doesn't know it, or using overly difficult words with someone who doesn't know the topic. It's about making sure your words are not a wall but a bridge. In the end, this skill makes you a more confident and effective communicator in all parts of your life. How does what the audience expects change how formal or informal English should be used? The expectations of your audience are like hidden rules that guide how you should speak. People expect certain things based on their relationship with you, their age, their background, and the situation of the conversation. For example, if you were speaking to a university professor about your research, they will likely expect you to use exact academic words, mention where you got your information, and organize your thoughts logically. They are not expecting you to say, yeah, so like, this thing I found is pretty cool and, I guess it means a lot. They expect a more formal, fact-based approach. Now, think about speaking to your younger cousin. They might not understand complex words or long, winding sentences. They might respond better to simpler words, shorter sentences, and perhaps some fun, interesting examples. 2. Knowing when to speak formally or informally. Sometimes, the way we speak English needs to change. It's like having different clothes for different times. You wouldn't wear a swimsuit to a nice dinner, and you wouldn't wear a suit to play in the park. The same is true for our words. Knowing when to use more serious, proper English and when to use relaxed, everyday English is a very important skill. It helps people understand you better and makes you feel comfortable wherever you are. This skill is what we call code switching, and it's all about choosing the right words for the right moment. Think about your day. You might start by talking to your family at breakfast. You'll probably use words that are easy and familiar, maybe even some private jokes. This is everyday English. Later, you might have a meeting at work or a class at school. Here, you'll likely use more careful, polite language. You'll choose your words wisely, speak more clearly, and avoid slang. This is proper English. Both are correct, but they are used in different situations. Why we have proper and everyday English? Why do we even have these two ways of speaking? It's all about respect, connection, and making sure our message is heard the way we want it to be. Proper English is like a well-made suit. It's neat, professional, and shows that you are taking things seriously. We use proper English when we want to show respect, when the situation is important, or when we are talking to people we don't know very well, especially if they are in charge. Imagine you are talking to your boss and their boss. You want to sound smart, prepared, and respectful. You'll use complete sentences, avoid slang, and choose words that are exact. Proper English helps you seem knowledgeable and trustworthy. It's the language of important papers, official speeches, and serious talks. It creates a sense of distance, which can be good when you need to be professional. It's not about being stiff. It's about being right for a situation that needs careful language. On the other hand, everyday English is like comfortable clothes. It's relaxed, easy, and helps you feel and seem more friendly. We use everyday English when we want to build a connection with someone, when we are in a casual place, or when we are talking to people we know well, like friends and family. Think about telling a funny story to your best friend. You might use shorter sentences, common words, and maybe even some slang or phrases that only you two understand. Everyday English helps you sound friendly, open, and easy to relate to. It creates a sense of closeness and makes conversations feel natural and easy. It's the language of daily chats, jokes, and sharing personal feelings. It allows you to be yourself and show your personality more freely. How to know when to be proper. So, how do you know when to put on your proper English suit? You need to be a good observer. Look for clues in three main areas: who you are talking to, where you are, and what you are trying to do. Your audience. Who are you speaking with? If you are talking to your boss, a customer, a teacher, or a doctor, you are likely in a proper situation. These people are often in charge or are professionals you are talking with for a specific, important reason. If you are talking to someone you just met, like at a work event or a formal party, you also want to start with more proper language. You don't know them well enough yet to be casual. Even if you know someone, their role can change how proper you should be. You might talk to your coworker very casually when you're both getting coffee, but you'll switch to more proper English when you're in a meeting with them and your manager. The setting. Where are you? Think about places like a courtroom, a university lecture hall, a company meeting room, or a formal church service. These are all places where proper language is expected. A job interview is another place that needs formality. The interviewer is judging you, and you want to make the best, most professional impression. Even a formal dinner party needs more careful language than a casual barbecue. The purpose. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to convince someone to invest in your company? That's a proper purpose. Are you officially saying sorry for a mistake? This needs proper language to show you are sincere and responsible. Are you explaining a difficult scientific idea? Being clear and exact, which is common in proper English, is key. If your goal is to get information for a report, to make a formal request, or to share important news, proper language is usually the best choice. Language clues. Besides the audience, setting, and purpose, there are also specific language clues. Proper English often uses longer, more complete sentences, more complex words. Instead of use, you might say utilize. Instead of try, you might say endeavor. No shortened words. You say I'm instead of I'm, and they are instead of there. Standard grammar. You avoid using slang or grammar that is common in casual speech, but might be seen as wrong in formal settings. A more neutral tone. It focuses on facts and information rather than personal feelings. How to know when to be casual. Now, let's look at the other side. When is it okay to relax your language and use everyday English? Again, consider your audience, the setting, and your purpose. Your audience. Who are you speaking with? Your close friends, family members, and siblings are perfect for everyday English. You have a history together and you feel comfortable. Peers who you know well, like classmates you study with or coworkers you have a friendly relationship with, are also good for casual chat. Children often understand everyday language best because it's easier to grasp and more interesting. The setting. Where are you? Think about places like your home, a coffee shop, a park, a casual restaurant, or a party with friends. These are all relaxed places. Online chat rooms or social media groups with friends are also usually casual places. Even at work, during a coffee break or a casual team lunch, everyday language can be perfectly fine. The purpose. What are you trying to achieve? Are you sharing a funny story or a personal experience? Are you just catching up with someone and wanting to chat about your day? Are you sharing ideas with friends where you want everyone to feel comfortable sharing anything, even silly ideas? Are you trying to comfort a friend who is sad? Warm, everyday words can be very helpful here. Language clues. Everyday English often includes shorter, simpler sentences, everyday words and common phrases, slang and idioms. These are words or phrases that have a special meaning that only people within a certain group understand. For example, cool for good or hang out for spend time together. Shortened words. It's, don't, can't are very common. More relaxed grammar. Sometimes, sentence structure might be less strict, or certain grammar rules might be bent a little. A more personal and emotional tone. It's okay to express feelings and opinions more openly. The problems of guessing wrong. What happens when you get it wrong? It can lead to misunderstandings, awkwardness, and even harm your relationships or reputation. Being too proper. Imagine you're at a casual get-together with your new neighbors, and you start speaking like you're giving a lecture. You use very long words, speak in perfectly formed sentences, and avoid any shortened words. Results. You might seem distant, stiff, or even a bit proud. People might feel shy and find it hard to connect with you. They might think, why is this person talking to me like that? Are they trying to show off? It can make you seem unapproachable and create a wall instead of building a bridge. Being too casual. Now picture a job interview. You're sitting across from the hiring manager, and instead of professional language, you start using slang, telling jokes, and speaking in short, choppy sentences. You might say, yeah, I'm totally excited about this job. It'd be awesome to, work here. Results. This can make you seem unprofessional, immature, and not serious about the chance. The interviewer might worry that you won't be able to handle the responsibilities of the job, which often need a certain level of professionalism. They might think you don't understand how important the situation is or that you don't respect the company. It can show a lack of good judgment. Developing your properness detector. Learning to switch between proper and everyday English is like developing a special sense. A properness detector. It's not something you're born with. It's a skill you build over time by paying attention and practicing. Observe and listen. When you are in different situations, pay close attention to how people around you are speaking. Notice the words they use, the length of their sentences, and their tone of voice. Listen to news anchors on TV. They usually use proper English. Then, watch a comedy show or a reality TV program. You'll hear much more everyday language. Think about your own conversations. When do you feel most comfortable speaking casually? When do you feel the need to be more careful with your words? Analyze the situation. Before you start speaking, take a moment to think. Who am I talking to? Where am I? What do I want to achieve with this conversation? This quick check will help you decide which outfit your language should wear. Start with conscious effort. In the beginning, you might have to think hard about your word choices. This is perfectly normal. It's like learning to drive. At first, you have to concentrate on every single step. If you're going into a proper situation, try to prepare a few phrases or ideas beforehand using more proper language. If you're going to be with friends, give yourself permission to relax and use more casual words. Practice and experiment. The more you practice code switching, the easier it becomes. Don't be afraid to try. If you make a mistake, don't worry too much. Most people understand that English speakers use different styles. Just learn from it and try again. You can even practice by yourself. Try explaining the same topic in two different ways, once very properly and once very casually. Let's think about a common scenario. Sarah is a bright young student who is applying for her first real job. She's great at chatting with her friends, always telling jokes and using lots of slang. But she's never had a proper job interview before. On the day of her interview, she walks into the office. The receptionist is polite and asks her name. Sarah, feeling a bit nervous but wanting to be friendly, says, "Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm here for the marketing gig." The receptionist smiles kindly but uses more proper language. "Welcome, Sarah. Please have a seat. Mr. Henderson will be with you shortly." Sarah realizes her mistake. She used gig, which is slang for job, and her greeting was a little too casual for the professional place. When Mr. Henderson, the hiring manager, comes to meet her, Sarah remembers her lesson. She takes a deep breath and says, "Good morning, Mr. Henderson. Thank you for meeting with me today. I'm very excited about the opportunity." 3. Importance of code switching. Imagine you are at a fun party, talking and laughing with your friends. Words come out easily, with jokes and maybe some casual words. You feel good and relaxed. Then the next day, you go to a big office for a job interview. Suddenly, your words feel different. You pick them more carefully. You talk a little slower and more politely. You are still you, but your English has changed. This skill to change how you talk, like changing clothes for different times, is called code switching. It means you are not pretending to be someone else. You are being smart and good at talking. Why is this skill so important? Think about it. The world has many different people and places. Each one needs a slightly different way of talking. When you learn to code switch, you get a superpower for talking to people. One of the best things about code switching is that it helps people trust you and feel close to you. When you talk in a way that feels easy and good to the person you are talking to, they feel a connection with you. It is like saying, "I understand you and I am like you." This helps them relax and be more open. Let's say you meet a new important customer for the first time. They might be a very important person who runs a big company. They probably expect you to be professional. If you talk to them like you talk to your best friend, they might be confused or think you do not take them seriously. But if you use more polite English, maybe clearer, more organized sentences, and kind words, you show them you respect their job and the business you are there to talk about. This does not mean you have to sound like a machine. It just means you choose words that fit the serious and important situation. This careful choice helps build trust. They see you as someone who knows how things work in the professional world, and that makes them want to work with you more. On the other hand, imagine you have worked with a coworker for many years. You know them very well. You share jokes and understand each other's habits. If you suddenly started talking to them in very formal English, they might be surprised. They might wonder what is wrong or if you are angry. In this case, using more relaxed, casual English, maybe with common sayings or even some friendly teasing, shows that your long friendship is still strong and comfortable. This easy talking keeps your work relationship good and friendly. It shows you can be professional when you need to be, but also warm and easy to talk to with people you know well. This ability to change is key to good relationships, both at work and in life. Code switching also makes your message much easier to understand. Sometimes, using very hard or formal words can make it difficult to understand. Imagine a doctor trying to explain a serious sickness to someone who is not a doctor. If the doctor uses all the medical words they learned in school, the patient might feel lost and scared, not knowing what is happening or what to do. But if the doctor switches to simpler, more direct words, explaining things in everyday language, the patient can understand better. They can ask questions more easily and feel more in control. This is code switching, changing your words to make sure the other person truly understands. Think about explaining a new computer program to a friend who does not know much about computers. You might know all the technical words like interface, algorithm, or database. But if you use those words without explaining them, your friend might just nod their head, pretending to understand, when they actually have no idea what you were talking about. Instead, you could use simpler words. You could say, "It's like a special tool on your computer that helps you organize your pictures," or "This part is like a recipe that tells the computer what to do." By changing your words to match what your friend knows, you make sure they can follow along and actually learn how to use the program. This is not about making your knowledge seem simple. It is about being a good communicator. It is about making sure your message is heard and understood well. On the other hand, sometimes using casual words in the wrong place can cause problems. Imagine you are in a job interview. The person interviewing you asks about your biggest weakness. If you answer with something like, "I don't know, maybe I'm kind of lazy sometimes," haha, it is not likely to impress them. The casual way you speak, the slang, and not giving a serious answer can make you seem not ready and not professional. The interviewer might worry that you will bring that same casual attitude to your work. This is a situation where polite English is expected. You need to show you can think seriously about your good and bad points and talk about them in a way that shows you know yourself and want to get better. This leads us to being professional and skilled. At work, how you speak is often seen as a sign of what you can do. Being able to code switch shows that you can change, you are mature, and you understand the social rules of different workplaces. This is very important for your career. Think about writing. You might send a quick, friendly message to a teammate on a work chat program like Slack. You might use smiley faces, short words, and a relaxed tone. This is casual English, and it is fine for that situation. It helps build a friendly team feeling. But then, you have to write a formal report for your boss or for a customer. This report needs to be clear, exact, and professional. You will use full sentences, avoid slang, and organize your ideas in a good order. You will probably use more advanced words and avoid short forms like don't or can't. This change from a quick chat message to a formal report is code switching. It shows you understand the different expectations for different kinds of writing. Employers notice these skills. They see that you can handle different tasks and talk well with different people, which often leads to getting promoted and getting more important jobs. It shows that you are not just good at your job, but you are also good at knowing how to act in the professional world. Beyond work, code switching helps us understand the complex world of different social and cultural ways of life. English is spoken all over the world, and each place has its own way of using the language. There are different accents, different common phrases, and different levels of politeness that are seen as normal. Let's say you are visiting a new city or country where English is spoken. You might hear people using local slang or sayings that you do not know. If you are at a casual party with new friends, trying to use some of their local phrases even if you are not perfect can show that you are trying to connect with them and be part of their group. It is a way of showing respect for their culture and their way of life. It makes you seem friendlier and easier to talk to. It is like learning a few words of the local language. It opens doors. However, if you were to use that same local slang in a formal business meeting with people from other places, it might be confusing or even seen as not professional. They might not understand what you mean, and it could make them feel left out. In that situation, using more standard, widely understood English is the better choice. This ability to change your words based on who you are talking to and where you are shows that you are a thoughtful and aware communicator. It helps you avoid accidentally upsetting someone or causing confusion. It makes you a better person in the world, able to connect with more people. So, what happens when we do not code switch well? The results can be important. In a job interview, for example, not code switching can be a big problem. If you are too casual, you might seem young or not serious enough for the job. If you are too formal and stiff, you might seem hard to approach or lacking in personality. The interviewer needs to see that you can fit into the company's way of doing things and get along well with coworkers and customers. Not being able to code switch can make them doubt your ability to do just that. Think about a situation where you were trying to make new friends. If you always speak in a very formal way, even in casual places, people might think you are distant or hard to get to know. They might think you are not interested in being friendly. On the other hand, if you use words that are too casual or use slang that others do not understand, you might also have trouble connecting. Finding that balance, that ability to change your tone and word choice, is what helps you build real connections. It is about showing your true self in a way that others can easily understand and relate to. The importance of code switching is closely linked to reaching your goals. If your goal is to get a promotion, you need to show your boss and senior leaders that you can handle more work. This often means talking well in formal situations, explaining ideas clearly, and acting professionally. Your ability to code switch between casual team chats and formal presentations or reports shows this readiness. It tells them you understand the bigger picture and can represent the company well. If your goal is to have a strong, supportive family life, code switching plays a part there too. You might use different words when talking to a young child compared to talking to your older parents. You will likely use a gentler, simpler tone with a child, while you might use more respectful and perhaps more detailed words with your parents. This shows you understand and respect the different needs and relationships within your family. It is about showing love and care through your talking. In the end, learning to code switch is about more than just speaking English correctly. It is about speaking English well. It is about being understood, being respected, and building strong relationships. It is about showing confidence and skill in any situation. It is about being able to express yourself fully and connect with the people around you no matter where you are or who you are talking to. It is a skill that opens doors, builds connections, and helps you make your world happen exactly as you want it to. Understanding why code switching is important is the first step. Now, let's look at how we can become good at this important skill and start changing how we speak on purpose. 4. Communicating effectively by adjusting language style. Talking well is like walking in a big city. You wear different clothes for a fancy dinner than for a picnic, right? Your clothes must fit where you are. It's the same with how you speak English. How you talk to your boss is not how you talk to your best friend. Being able to change how you speak for different times is very important. We call this code switching. When you speak, you give more than just words. You also show who you are and how you feel about the person you talk to. If you use the same words and tone with everyone, everywhere, some people might not understand you, or they might not feel good talking to you. This is where changing your speaking style or code switching helps. It makes sure your message is heard the right way by the person listening and in the place you are. Know who you are talking to. The most important thing when speaking is to know who you are talking to. Imagine you are at a job interview. You want to sound serious and smart about the job. You would use clear, polite words. You would not use slang and would speak in full sentences. You might even use words that are common for that job. This shows the interviewer you understand their world and can be part of their team. Now, Think about talking to your closest friends. You can be relaxed. You might use short sentences, jokes only you know, or words only your group uses. You can be more casual, maybe louder, and say what you feel more easily. This is also good talking, but it is different. You show your friends you feel safe and close to them. If you talk to your boss like you talk to your friends, it might not be good. They might think you are not serious about the job or that you do not respect them. If you talked to your friends like you talk at work, they might think you are far away or strange. They might ask why you are acting so different. So, changing how you speak is about showing respect and building a connection. When you change how you speak to fit what people expect and the place you are in, you send a clear message: I understand this, and I want to talk well with you. This makes it easier for people to listen, understand your ideas, and feel close to you. It's like giving them a key to your message. Formal vs. informal. The rules. In English, we often talk about two main ways of speaking: formal and informal. Knowing when to use each is a big part of code switching. Formal English is for serious times. Think about writing a letter for a job, giving a talk to many people, or speaking with someone you do not know well, especially if they are in charge. In formal English, we use full sentences. We pick our words with care, often using more exact or fancy words. We do not use slang short words like don't or can't, or short forms of words. We are usually more polite and do not say things directly. We might say things like it is important to note or I would like to request. For example, if you wrote to your teacher, you might say, Dear teacher, I hope you are well. I am writing to ask about getting more time for the essay. Informal English, on the other hand, is for relaxed times. This is for talking with friends, family, or people you know very well. In informal English, sentences can be short and sometimes not full. We use everyday words and phrases. Slang, sayings, and short words like don't are common. We can be more direct and show feelings more easily. We might say things like, hey, what's up? Or gotta go. If you texted your friend about the same essay, you might say, hey, can I get more time for that essay? One style is not better than the other. Both formal and informal English are right for their own times. The skill is knowing which one to use. Using formal words when not needed can make you sound stiff. Using informal words when formality is needed can make you seem not professional or rude. It's like wearing a suit to swim. It does not fit. The power of fitting in: when you change how you speak, you do more than follow rules. You build a bridge between yourself and the person you are talking to. This is called building rapport. Rapport is that feeling of connection and understanding that makes talking easy. Let's say you are a new worker at a company. In your first meeting, you hear your coworkers using special words and phrases for your job. If you also use these words, even if you are still learning, it shows you are trying to understand them and that you belong to the same group. This can make your coworkers feel more comfortable with you and more willing to help you. You are fitting in by speaking their language. This does not mean you have to pretend to be someone you are not. It is about finding common ground through language. When people hear you speaking in a way that feels familiar and right to them, they are more likely to listen more. They feel you are talking to them, not just at them. Trust you more. They see you as someone who understands their world. Be more open to your ideas. They feel a connection, which makes them more ready to listen. Think about a salesperson. A good salesperson does not just talk about their product. They talk about how the product will fix the customer's problem in a way the customer understands and cares about. They change their words to connect with what the customer needs. This ability to fit in with words is a strong tool to help people agree with you. Avoiding mistakes and hurt feelings sometimes. Not changing your words can cause real problems. It can cause confusion, frustration, and even hurt feelings. This happens when the way you speak does not match what the situation expects. Imagine you are at a very serious event, like a funeral or an award show. If you started telling jokes and using slang, people would likely be shocked and upset. They would think you were not respecting the event or the people there. Your words might be fine on their own, but in that place, they are wrong. Also, in a workplace, using words that are too casual can be bad. If you were giving a talk to important customers and you said things like, this thing is gonna be totally awesome, they might not take your talk seriously. They might think you are not ready, do not know enough, or are not professional enough for their business. This can lead to mischances and hurt your name. On the other hand, being too formal in a casual place can also cause problems. If you were at a friend's birthday party and you spoke in very stiff, formal sentences, always saying "it is my pleasure to be in attendance," your friends might feel strange. They might think you are mad at them or being fake. You might seem cold or hard to talk to, and the friendly feeling could be broken. The goal is to make talking as smooth as possible. By code switching, you try to stop these kinds of mistakes. You choose words and a style that are most likely to be understood and liked by the people you are talking to, right then. It's about being kind to others and making sure your message is heard the way you want it to be. Feeling good by being able to change. Learning to code switch shows you are becoming more sure of yourself when speaking English. When you first start learning a language, you might feel stuck using only one way of speaking. You might be scared to try new words or different sentences because you worry about making mistakes. But as you feel more comfortable, you see that English is not just one fixed thing. It is a living tool that people use in many ways. The more you practice code switching, the more flexible you become. You learn to notice what is happening around you, the tone of voice, the words others use, the general feeling, and change how you speak. Being able to change like this is very powerful. It means you are not stuck with one style. You can go into a meeting and speak well, and then go out and have a relaxed talk with a friend without feeling awkward. Being able to move easily between different social and work places builds strong confidence. When you can code switch well, people see you as someone who is smart. You understand social signs and change how you act. Skilled. You are good with language. Sure of yourself. You are comfortable in many places. This confidence does not just come from knowing how to switch, it comes from the good results you get when you do. When your talking works well, when you build better relationships, and when you reach your goals by speaking, your confidence grows. It's a good circle. The more you change, the more you succeed, and the more you succeed, the more sure you feel of your ability to change. So knowing that you can, and should, change how you speak is a big step. It means you are moving from just speaking English to truly using English to connect with the world. It's about being a smart and good talker, someone who can be heard and understood anywhere. Learning to change how you speak is not just about rules. It's about opening up your chance to connect and influence. Once we know why we should change our speech, the next important step is to learn how. To learn the specific ways to change our language gears. Conclusion. You have read these pages and learned to make your English sound just right for you. We started with a simple, big idea. If you know how to change how you speak, you can talk better and feel more sure of yourself everywhere. Now, we finish this book. But your real adventure in speaking your world is just starting. The main thing we learned is code switching. Think of it like a special power for talking. It means you can change how you speak English without even thinking, based on who you are talking to and where you are. It's like using neat, clear words when you explain something important at work, and then using easy, friendly words with your best friend. This skill isn't about faking it. It's about being polite in different places and making sure people understand what you mean. It helps people trust you, shows you notice things, and makes it easier to be friends with others. We saw how formal English, with its neat sentences and chosen words, makes people respect you and think you are smart, especially at work. It's the English for big meetings, important papers, and when you want to make a good, clear mark. On the other hand, informal English, with its everyday words, short words, and sometimes fun slang, is for being close to people. It's how we talk easily with friends, tell jokes, and show who we are. But code switching is more than just formal and informal. It's also about changing how you speak for different cultures, for people from different places, and even changing your voice to show you care or are excited. It's a skill that takes practice and paying attention. Now that you know how powerful code switching is, the best part is using it. Watch how people around you talk. See the small changes they make. Then try it yourself. Practice in different spots. You can pretend you were talking to someone or think about times you have talked. Don't worry about being perfect. Learning this skill is a journey, and every little step helps. When you get good at code switching, your friendships will get stronger, your work will go better, and you will feel much more sure of yourself. You will be able to say what you mean clearly and well, truly speaking your world. Thank you for coming with me on this trip. You now have the tools to understand and use English well. The skill of code switching is your special key. It will open doors to better talking, deeper understanding, and many chances. Keep practicing, keep watching, and keep speaking your world with confidence and kindness.